Happy Thursday, all you fabulous freight masters out there. So today, wanted to talk about digital freight brokerages and can they prove their worth, right? I know we've talked a lot about trucking, but this is sort of brokers and truckers, right? Because if you're a carrier and you work with these digital freight brokerages, some of this information might be valuable to you, as well as brokers, right? If you're thinking of going digital. So Uber Freight and LoadSmart are two digital brokerages, right, who made headlines the other day with announcements of new tech offerings, right? We've been talking about a lot of the new tech and all these kinds of things that have kind of infiltrated our industry, right? There was a point in time where, not to get off on a little side tangent here or anything, but there was a point in time where, at least personally, I felt that there was a lot of tech and things that should have been available to our industry that were not, and we had always kind of fallen behind for whatever reason. Being as large as we are as an industry, I don't know. It just never felt like things were ever quite catching up to us. And now, and agree with me, disagree with me, let me know. I feel like we've kind of come leaps and bounds, in recent years. So moving on, both companies are continuing to chase growth in the industry that remains skeptical about their ability to turn funding into real profitability. Okay. Uber Freight, fresh off its latest product announcement, is pushing its new integrated fleet management tools and AI-driven insights. Okay. The company claims these will help shippers and carriers improve efficiency and reduce costs. It's a move designed to reinforce their reputation as a major player in this space, managing $20 billion in freight annually, but industry veterans aren't convinced the numbers add up. Okay. We all know that Uber Freight, kind of when they came on the scene, they were in the red, right? I haven't really looked at them recently, as far as, their profitability, but I thought that this was kind of worth talking about. Mr. Schick, CEO for Alliance Logistics, stated, maybe I just don't understand things right, but it seems like the math ain't mathin'. Okay. Someone want to take the time to help me understand how $20 billion in freight under management is possible with only $5 billion of top line revenue. In addition, if they hauled 24 million loads in the last 12 months, that equates to an average of $213 a load. If every dollar of the 5.1 billion in revenue was an invoice for shipment. Something to think about. Uber Direct for same day and scheduled deliveries, plus other tools for fleet management and AI route optimization is some of their key offering. They claim these tools will streamline logistics for both shippers and carriers, improving margins and offering better real-time data. Again, remember what I just quoted from the CEO of Alliance Logistics there. Still, Uber Freight CEO Lior Ron emphasized the company's gains, saying they managed over 24 million loads across 6,000 brands in the past year. A vast network that gives them a special edge in developing these types of data-driven tools. Oh, forgot to. Sorry, that's my buddy. And we mentioned LoadSmart earlier, who on the same day also rolled out new products with an emphasis on freight intel and dynamic pricing plus, both of which leverage AI. Right, we've been talking about a lot of AI technology, in the industry, to help shippers lock in the best rates. LoadSmart's pitch is simple: smarter pricing equals better business. Okay, their key offering, like I mentioned earlier, is Freight Intel, an AI-powered decision-making tool, and Dynamic Pricing Plus. Their claim is more accurate pricing through AI-driven insights, helping carriers and shippers manage market volatility. Okay. But LoadSmart isn't immune to skepticism either. Okay. Some carriers have raised concerns about AI-run brokerages not delivering on their promises, citing issues with transparency and customer service. Now, that is a kind of a biggie with me, is customer service, because whether you're a carrier or a customer of mine, customer service is key, right? I've stated it before, and not to toot my own horn, but I'm going to a little bit. If I have a driver under a load and he calls me at 3 o'clock in the morning because there's a problem, I'm answering the phone. If I miss it, I'm calling him back, right? Like within probably 2 minutes. He's not going to hang around till, 8 o'clock that morning, for the next several hours, waiting to get a reply from me. Right? I just don't feel like that's how things should have to run. I understand, it's like being on call, but it's not a thing that happens all the time. It's not like every night I'm being woken up, half a dozen times by drivers. I'm not, right? But when that rare instance does happen, or a customer, I've gotten calls from customers, very similar situation, although I believe it was like 2:30 in the morning, might have been 3. But I've had them call and say, hey, we had a problem. Truck didn't show up. Can you get me one in here at 8 o'clock, or by 10 at the latest? I'm on it, right? That's customer service. That's, helping to solve problems. Whatever the issue is, obviously, there's a clear reason why they felt the need to reach out to me, right? Something happened. So, real big on customer service. Communication is one of those things that I am really big on. I get frustrated when I don't get it, right? And just like I believe anybody else would if I'm not communicating, with them. So, anyway, moving on. Both companies have amassed impressive funding. Again, Uber Freight with $2.73 billion, and LoadSmart securing backers like BlackRock and CSX Corp. Yet there's growing sentiment that despite all the shiny new tech, neither company has figured out how to be truly profitable in a competitive and low margin industry, right? LoadSmart's AI-powered innovations sound great on paper, but carriers and smaller brokers are questioning if these efficiencies will ever translate into meaningful value for them. Okay. And, why does all of this matter? Well, the closure of Convoy, once valued at $3.8 billion, has shaken confidence in digital freight brokerage space, right? Venture capitalists have significantly pulled back on funding these types of companies after 2022's freight recession and a sharp decline in spot rates. Freight tech funding overall is down, with a 43% drop in deal count and 70% drop in deal value in 2023. All right. While tech solutions like AI and automation still excite some investors, the enthusiasm for digital brokerages specifically has waned. All right. And so now, inevitably, investors are more cautious. Okay. I do like AI. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating. I do think that it has its place, but how do I put this? I think that there's certain functions that AI is useful for, in our day-to-day, but not kind of taking over everything. Does that make sense? And if I need to clarify later, drop me a comment and I'll try to, but it's, I guess at the moment I'm at a little bit of a loss for words. Like I don't know. I do think that there's certain functions in our day-to-day where it's useful, but just not taking over everything, I guess. Companies like Uber Freight and LoadSmart are continuing to roll out tech-driven solutions, but they now face more pressure to prove that they can turn a profit in an environment where venture capital is no longer as forgiving. Okay. So I hope you guys found this article useful. Something I kind of wanted to pass along to everybody who's, maybe kind of been monitoring AI or frustrated with it. Whether you're a carrier or, in the brokerage space. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on AI and its role in our industry, right? Should it be limited? I guess kind of like how I was mentioned just a moment ago. I don't think like a lot of those, I guess to kind of elaborate a little bit more on my previous thoughts on AI, and its function in our day to day, things like good communication, right? I think with like a lot of the automated, kind of chatty bot stuff or whatever I don't know. I don't like that. I get the usefulness of it sometimes, but it's no different than it's just a computerized call center, essentially, when it comes to customer service, right? And I would never want to relinquish that control to AI if a driver or a customer ever needed to contact me, right? And it may end up doing things that I might not agree with. There's probably, more to it than I have personal experience with, but I don't know. It's coming inevitably. I think it's going to play a role. I know that there's some other platforms that utilize AI as well, with different things in our industry. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. As a carrier, do you have experience, with digital brokerages and a lot of this AI tech? Love it, hate it, indifferent to it. If you've got experience utilizing AI with your brokerage, again, leave me a comment. Do you like it? Are you kind of putting it through its paces? And what are you experiencing with it so far? I guess that would be my question to everyone else out there watching this. What's your input on it, I guess? So anywho, that's all for today. I hope everybody's having a good day. Finish out the rest of your week strong. And as always, be kind to one another. Bye-bye now.